My wife's family created a secret operation to divorce me and steal everything, but I found their plan before they could strike Reddit stories. One iPad notification revealed weeks of coordinated betrayal, complete with phases, assignments, and a script to paint me as an abuser. By the time she stepped out of the shower humming, I already knew my life had been marked as a target. Hi, I'm Daniel, 35, and 2 weeks ago I found out my wife's family had a literal mission plan to divorce me, bankrupt me, and paint me as an abuser. Not a metaphor. An actual group chat. With phases, assignments, timelines, like I was a hostile regime they needed to overthrow. The discovery was stupidly mundane. My wife left her iPad on the kitchen counter while she showered. It pinged. Screen lit up. Operation Freedom, getting her out. That's what the notification said. Big bold letters like a military op. At first, I honestly thought it was some HR training thing from her job. She works in human resources, always doing team-building crap with dramatic titles like Mission Synergy. But then I saw the preview message. Her mom. Phase 1 is complete. We just need more photos of the office drawer. My stomach sank so hard it felt like it hit the floor tiles. I picked up the iPad. Face ID didn't work, but the passcode? Our anniversary. She never changed it. The lock screen slid away. And right there, glowing at the top, was the group chat. Operation Freedom, getting her out. Participants. Her mom. Her sister. Her aunt. Her best friend. And my wife. Like they were all sitting in a digital war room planning my downfall. I opened the chat. The earliest message I saw was from 3 weeks back. Her mom. Phase 1, document everything. Photos of the house, car titles, bank statements, anything with his signature. We need proof of what she's entitled to. Her sister. Got the office pics last week. Financial docs in the 3rd drawer. Easy. My hands actually went cold reading that. They'd been in my office. Digging through drawers. Taking pictures. Without a hint of hesitation. Then. Her aunt. Phase 2 is the attorney consult. I know someone discreet. No paper trail to the house. Her best friend. When's Phase 3? Are we doing counseling first to make it look legit? Her mom. No counseling. Counseling gives him time to hide assets. We file immediately after she moves out. She'll claim she felt unsafe. I stopped breathing. They were planning to say I was unsafe. Me. A guy who can't even yell at the TV properly. Then her sister chimed in. Her sister. The unsafe angle guarantees she gets the house and temporary orders. Judges eat that up. We don't even have kids. But they were planning alimony, asset division, and the right judge. My wife's mother wrote. Her mom. 2 months. That's the timeline. Then she's free. Free. Like I was a prison sentence. The most surreal part wasn't the betrayal, it was the absolute confidence. The entitlement. The casual way they plotted to dismantle my life like they were planning a baby shower. 1 message later, I hit the newest entry. From today. 2 hours earlier. Her mom. Attorney consult is Tuesday. Don't tell him anything. Act normal. We're almost there, baby girl. I stared at the iPad, the room spinning. My wife was in the shower humming. Water running. Steam drifting out under the door. She was planning to leave me. Take the house. Take my retirement. Accuse me of abuse that never happened. And she was humming. That exact moment, right there in my quiet kitchen, was when something in me shut off. Not anger. Not heartbreak. Precision. I placed the iPad exactly where it had been. Went into my office. Closed the door. Sat in silence. And began planning my own operation. For the next hour, I just sat there in my office chair, staring at the wall like my brain was buffering. I kept hearing her mom's words on loop. Act normal. We're almost there. Almost there. Almost done gutting my life like a fish. When my shock finally burned off, something colder settled in. If they wanted a war, I wasn't showing up unarmed. So I got to work. Day 1, attorney, evidence, and reality check. First move, call an attorney. I didn't even know what to say at first. I actually apologized, like I was inconveniencing him with my impending betrayal. But once I explained the group chat, he snapped into business mode instantly. Do you have screenshots? He asked. No, I admitted. I didn't think of it. Then your first task is to get them. Every single message. Do not confront her. Do not change your behavior. Document quietly. That word, quietly, became my entire personality. She went grocery shopping that evening. I waited 5 extra minutes after the garage door closed, then opened the iPad again. Screenshot. Scroll. Screenshot. Scroll. Dozens of messages. Pictures they'd taken of my office. Plans for false allegations. Discussions of attorneys. Instructions to isolate me. The phrase, narrative of control, showed up at least 6 times. Funny, considering the woman had her own bank account, her own car, her own job, her own hobbies, and friends. She saw more than she saw me. When I was done, I uploaded everything to a cloud drive she didn't know existed. Changed that password too. I put the iPad back exactly where it had been, screen off, angle identical, untouched. When she came home, she kissed me on the cheek and asked what I wanted for dinner. Her voice was bright, normal. It was chilling. Day 2 to 3, fortifying the fortresses. Passwords. Everywhere. Banking. Email. Investments. Credit cards. Security system. Garage keypad. Wi-Fi. Anything she could weaponize, I sealed. My attorney told me, if they're planning to freeze accounts, move assets, or fabricate abuse, you need total control of your digital footprint. So I updated everything. 2-factor authentication. New backup emails. New security questions. Then came the joint account, the dangerous one. We used it for bills. It had about $8,000 in it, money we both contributed. My attorney was blunt. She will drain that first. Remove her access now. So I did. Transferred the balance into my personal account. Not stolen, simply protected. Legally gray, but justified considering the documented fraud they were planning. Day 4 to 5, asset documentation. I spent 2 days photographing everything in the house. Every room. Every drawer. Every piece of furniture. Cars. Tools. Appliances. Even the damn throw pillows. All time-stamped. All uploaded. I printed 3 years of tax returns, pay stubs, mortgage documents, loan payoff letters, including the $15,000 I paid to wipe her student loans last year. A loan she had now filed emotionally under manipulative control. Sure. Day 6 to 7, the checkmate move. My attorney gave me the final directive. File first. Once she files, she controls the narrative. You file first, you control it. So I did. No fault basis, irreconcilable differences. Very clean. But attached? A 52-page exhibit of their entire Operation Freedom plot. Screenshots. Timestamps. Plans for fake abuse allegations. Evidence her family was conspiring to raid my retirement and home. We also requested exclusive use of the marital home, protection of all separate property, denial of any alimony, immediate legal boundaries for communication. We didn't serve her at home. We served her at work. Friday afternoon, 2:15 p.m. Her phone must have exploded in her hands. Because mine did, 28 messages in 2 hours. What is this? Why am I getting served? We need to talk now. I can't believe you're doing this. My entire office saw that. You humiliated me. You didn't even try counseling. Answer me. I didn't respond. Not one word. Then her mom called. then her sister, then her best friend. Blocked. 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 I muted the world. That night, my attorney called. Her attorney has already reached out. They want to discuss settlement. Less than 24 hours after I filed, I hung up and let the silence fill the room. Operation Freedom had begun. Just not the version they wrote. Saturday morning, 9:12 a.m. My phone buzzed with a single text from my attorney. Brace yourself. They're in panic mode. No kidding. Because at 9:17 a.m., my wife walked through the front door like a tornado wearing mascara. Hair frizzy. Eyes red. Still in yesterday's work blouse. She must have driven straight home after being served, spiraled all night, and decided she was ready to perform Act 1 of the "How could you do this to me?" show. She slammed the door so hard one of the picture frames rattled. "Why?" she screamed. Not cried. Screamed. Like I'd run over her dog. I stayed sitting on the couch. Calm. Because I'd rehearsed this in my head 100 times. She wasn't prepared for calm. "You filed for divorce?" she yelled. "Without even talking to me? Without even trying?" I looked at her, really looked, and saw it. Not grief. Not heartbreak. Rage at losing control. "You were planning to file first," I said. "With false allegations. With your family coaching you through asset theft." Her face literally changed shape. Shock, guilt, anger, victimhood, all in under 4 seconds. "I was not," she shouted, voice cracking. I stood, walked to the kitchen counter, unlocked my phone, opened the cloud folder, and slid it toward her. "Read." She picked it up. Saw the first screenshot. Her pupils blew wide. "Where did you? How did you? This is invasion of privacy." Wrong answer. I took the phone back. "Planning false abuse accusations," I said calmly, "is a felony. Documenting it? Saving evidence of it? That's self-defense." She blinked rapidly. She wasn't expecting a counterattack. She expected me to cry, beg, negotiate, fall apart. Instead, I stood like a man who had already crawled out of the wreckage. Her voice changed. Soft. Broken. Manipulative in a way you could smell. "I wasn't planning anything," she whispered. "My family was just worried. They made the chat, not me. I wasn't actually going to leave. I just needed support." Support. Sure. So you let them tell you what accusations to make? What money to take? What narrative to craft? She reached for my arm. "I still love you," she said. That one almost made me laugh. Almost. "You love what you thought you could get from me," I said. "You don't love me." She pulled back like I'd slapped her. Then her expression hardened. "If you go through with this," she said quietly, "I will fight you for everything." There she was. The real her. But here's the thing, she didn't know the war was already over. "I've already filed," I said. "And your group chat planning fraud is attached to the case." Her mouth fell open. "What? You were preparing to falsely accuse me of being unsafe." My attorney preemptively included that in the filing. Every message. Every screenshot. She backed up until her shoulders hit the door. You're weaponizing my family's support?" "No," I said. "I'm protecting myself from your family's agenda." She shook her head, trembling. "You blindsided me," she whispered. "You tried to blindside me first." She had no comeback. Her foundation, the one they built under her, was crumbling. And she realized something terrifying. I wasn't in her script anymore. When she finally spoke, her voice was barely audible. "What am I supposed to do now?" I opened the door. "Leave," I said. "And talk to your attorney. That's your only move left." Her eyes filled, but not with sadness, with pure, livid humiliation. Then she walked out. Not quietly. Not gracefully. Like someone who had just realized their entire heist failed before Phase 1 even launched. I locked the door behind her. And for the first time in months, I breathed. By Monday morning, the entire in-law army had mobilized. I woke up to 13 blocked voicemails, didn't listen, 22 emails, all forwarded to my attorney, and one hilariously dramatic subject line from her mother. "You have broken this family." Right. Because I stopped the divorce ambush. The in-law offensive begins. At 10:42 a.m., my doorbell camera pinged. Her sister. Of course. She stood on my porch with the confidence of someone who has never been told no in her life. I answered through the intercom. "What do you want?" She flipped her hair like a shampoo commercial. "We need to talk, Ryan." "No, we don't," she huffed. "You blindsided my sister. You humiliated her. She was crying all weekend. Are you proud of yourself? Your family plotted a fraudulent divorce against me. I didn't blindside anyone, I prevented a crime." Her jaw clenched so hard I heard it through the speaker. "You don't understand," she snapped. She was scared. She didn't know how to leave. She needed support. She didn't need support, I said. She needed a lawyer to help her steal half my assets and my house. Her face reddened. "You were controlling." "This again. Name one controlling thing I did," I said. Silence. Just the sound of her swallowing her own argument. Then, she tried again. "You're twisting everything." She didn't want to accuse you of abuse, she just needed options. "Oh," I said. "So the fake abuse allegations were optional. Good to know." She stomped her foot. Actually stomped. "You're going to regret this. You'll give her half of everything or we will." "You'll what? Try another conspiracy?" "Go ahead. I already documented everything." She stormed off. Not 10 minutes later. Round 2, her mother. Her car barely parked straight before she marched onto my porch, jabbing a finger at the doorbell like it insulted her. The moment I answered, she shrieked. "You vindictive little man! How dare you file first? How dare you serve her at work? Your daughter planned to serve me first. With false allegations. Your own words in the chat confirm it. That chat was private. So was my marriage." That shut her up for a second. But only a second. "You ruined her future," she screeched. "No," I said. "I ruined your operation." She gasped like she'd never heard such disrespect. "You miserable, ungrateful, my daughter gave you the best years of her life. She tried to take the rest of mine." She sputtered. Literally sputtered. "You were supposed to provide for her. Protect her. Give her stability. I paid off her student loans. That was manipulative." Ah, yes. The classic mother-in-law logic. If the husband does something good, it's controlling. If he does something neutral, it's abusive. If he does something they don't like, it's unforgivable. I ended the conversation with the same line I'd practiced. "You need to leave my property." She cursed me out for a good 90 seconds before storming off, screaming something about legal action, karma, and "This isn't over." Yes, it was. But the funniest moment of the day. 3:07 p.m. My attorney forwarded me a message from her attorney. They wanted to discuss settlement. Already? 3 days after I filed. 3 days after her plan detonated in her hands. 3 days after she realized her freedom operation ended in a financial faceplant. I replied with one sentence. "When you're ready to offer reasonable terms, we'll talk." My attorney added. "They're scrambling. They know the screenshots destroyed their case. Expect rapid concessions." Oh, I did. Because Operation Freedom wasn't just failing. It was collapsing. And I hadn't even played my final card yet. By midweek, desperation was practically dripping off every message her attorney sent mine. But the real chaos? That came from my wife's family, who escalated faster than a malfunctioning elevator. And it started with something so unhinged, I actually laughed when it happened. Wednesday, the counseling ambush. At 2:14 p.m., my phone buzzed with a text from my wife. I booked us a marriage counseling session. Tuesday at 6. You need to show up. Not want. Not please. Need. As if she was still running the operation. I called my attorney immediately. He didn't even pause. Absolutely do not go. It's a trap to create a narrative that you're the unreasonable one. What do I say? I asked. Say nothing. Your divorce is already filed. Do not entertain emotional manipulation. So I sent exactly this. We're getting divorced. Do not contact me outside of attorneys. 30 seconds later, call. Declined. Another number, call. Blocked. Another number, call. Blocked. Then a text from her best friend. Wow. So you're not even going to try? What kind of husband are you? I replied. The kind who doesn't walk into a staged counseling session meant to salvage her legal strategy. Blocked. Thursday, the house incident, the big one. I got home from work at 6:40 p.m. My key didn't work. I stared at the lock, tried again, turned it slowly. Nothing. She changed the locks on my house. The house I bought 2 years before we even married. The deed solely in my name. The property court had already granted me exclusive use of. I stepped back, exhaled, and called the police. 5 minutes later, 2 officers arrived. As they approached the door, her car pulled up. She got out, face red, eyes huge, ready to play the victim like she was auditioning for a Netflix role. Officer, she cried. Thank God you're here. He can't come in. This is my home too. The officer asked calmly. Ma'am, is your name on the deed? She froze. Well, no, but... Are you legally allowed to change the locks? I felt unsafe. There it was. Attempted Phase 3 of Operation Freedom. The officer nodded slowly. But not sympathetically. Ma'am, he said in the tone cops use with people seconds away from being handcuffed. You cannot change the locks on a home you don't own, especially during an ongoing divorce. Her mom popped out of the passenger seat like a jack-in-the-box. He is abusing her emotionally, she screamed. The officer held up a hand. Is there a restraining order? No. Police reports? Domestic disturbance calls? Hospital records? Witness statements? No, but... Then emotional claims have no bearing here. You are trespassing. Both of you need to leave. They sputtered like frying oil. But where am I supposed to go? My wife cried. That's not our concern, the officer replied. You cannot bar the owner from entering his own home. She tried one more time. This is unfair. The officer looked at me. Sir, call a locksmith. Change them back. Tonight. $350 later, I had control of my home again. My attorney added the locksmith bill to our settlement demands. He also added interference with lawful property access, documented attempt to fabricate, unsafe conditions, violation of temporary orders. Her attorney must have aged 5 years in one phone call. Friday, the crumbling front. At 11 a.m., my attorney called. They want to settle. Immediately. I smiled. Of course they did. Her attorney laid out 4 desperate requests. She wanted the house. Denied. She wanted half my retirement. Denied. She wanted alimony. Absolutely not. She wanted me to pay her attorney fees. Laughable. My attorney kept repeating the same phrase. Given the documented conspiracy to commit fraud, we are unwilling to entertain that request. They pushed. We refused. By the end of the week, their new tone wasn't confident. It was begging. Desperation had a voice, and it sounded exactly like her attorney saying, "Can we please reach a reasonable agreement?" We were about to. Just not her version. By the time the next week rolled in, Her entire family was in full meltdown mode. Operation Freedom wasn't just failing. It was publicly, spectacularly imploding. And when manipulators lose control, they don't calm down. They thrash hard. The family civil war begins. It started with a text from a mutual friend, not one of hers, one of ours. Dude, I don't know what's going on, but her family is fighting each other in their group chat. Like bad? I didn't respond, but he kept typing. Her sister is blaming your wife. Your wife is blaming her mom. Her mom is blaming the aunt. The aunt is blaming the execution plan. This is wild. I sat on my couch eating cereal like it was a live sports event. Apparently, her sister accused my wife of ruining the plan by being sloppy. As if planning fraud requires elegance. My wife accused her mom of pushing her too fast. Her mom accused the aunt of messing up the timeline. The aunt accused the best friend of suggesting the wrong attorney. And the best friend? She rage quit the chat. Then came the favorite part of the fallout. The attempted reputation salvage tour. One by one, people started reaching out to me privately. Not to attack. No. To distance themselves from the sinking ship. Example. Hey man, I had no idea what she was planning. I swear I didn't know about the chat. Another one. I don't condone what her mom suggested. I just want you to know I always liked you. My favorite. I told her this would backfire. She didn't listen. Ah yes. The classic I tried to warn them rewrite. Spoiler. They did not. Her sister's final stand. Wednesday evening, I got a pounding on my door so aggressive it rattled the frame. I almost didn't answer. But curiosity won. When I opened it, her sister shoved her phone in my face. Fix this. On her screen? A family group chat message from their mom. We need to prepare new statements. The narrative is shifting. I raised an eyebrow. So now you need a new lie? She snapped her phone back. You ruined our plan. Your plan was illegal. It was necessary. Interesting choice of words. She jabbed a finger toward my chest. You couldn't just let her leave with dignity? Oh, is that what you call taking my house, retirement, assets, and reputation? It's what she deserved. There it is, I said. She froze. What? The truth. This was never about fairness. It was about entitlement. She hated that. Because it was accurate. She kicked at my doormat, actually kicked it, and yelled. You're a coward. No, I said. I just didn't let you rob me. She screamed in frustration, stomped to her car, and peeled out like a teenager who'd been grounded. Her attorney finally cracks. Thursday morning, my attorney called laughing. Her attorney just told me, and I quote, your client is impossible to beat. We need to wrap this up. They were done. Not because they wanted peace. Because they had no more ammunition. And they knew if this went to court, the judge would absolutely torch them. Her last attempt to control the narrative. That night, my wife texted me from yet another new number. We should talk about reconciliation. I think we moved too fast. Not even subtle. I replied. No. She tried again. We can go to counseling. Reset things. Start fresh. No. Please. Don't throw away 6 years. You plan to throw away everything I own. Long pause. Then. I didn't mean it. I sent one message. Convincing someone to file false allegations is not an accident. Blocked. Meanwhile, her family was still eating each other alive. The friend who told me earlier sent one more update. Bro. Her aunt is now blaming the entire thing on you. Being too prepared. He added. I don't think they understand how consequences work. Oh, I know they don't. But they were learning. Hard. Because Operation Freedom didn't just fail. It destroyed their structure of control. And people with no structure? Panic. By the time settlement week arrived, Her entire support system was in shambles, her legal strategy was gutted, and her attorney sounded like a man begging for someone to put him out of his misery. But my wife. She still had one card left. Not a smart card. Not a legal card. An emotional grenade. One she thought would drag me back into her orbit. She really underestimated how done I was. The heartfelt letter that wasn't. 3 days before our settlement signing, an envelope showed up in my mailbox addressed in her handwriting. I considered tossing it straight in the shredder. But curiosity won. Inside was a 4-page letter written like she thought I'd read it over soft piano music. Highlights include: I didn't mean to hurt you. I was scared. My family manipulated me. This was definitely her mom's idea. You blindsided me. I deserved a conversation. You're still my best friend. Why would you throw that away? And the kicker? If you sign the divorce, you ruin the chance for us to fix this and rebuild our lives together. There it was. The last Hail Mary. Not accountability. Not remorse. Not honesty. Just fear of losing the fallback husband who provided stability, a home, and the life she didn't want to lose. I didn't respond. I didn't acknowledge it. I tucked the letter into a folder labeled Evidence, Post-Filing. Attorney's orders. The desperation ramped up. 2 days later, she tried a new tactic, nostalgia. A text from an unknown number. Do you remember our trip to Denver? You held my hand the whole flight because I was scared. We were good once. Blocked. An hour later. Don't you ever think about how we used to laugh? Blocked. Then, the real attempt. I forgive you. Forgive me? For what, exactly? Stopping your family's fraud plot? Protecting my assets? Not letting you ruin my career with false allegations? This was delusion wearing perfume. Her family loses their grip. Meanwhile, your favorite people, her mother, her sister, her aunt, were all imploding at once. Her sister posted a cryptic Facebook status. Some people don't know how to appreciate the love they're given. Her mom posted one too. When a man breaks apart a family, he breaks himself. Funny how they kept forgetting their entire plan revolved around dismantling my life. The best friend sent me one last gem before I blocked her. You were supposed to give her the life she deserved. I replied. I did. She just wanted more. Blocked. The final manipulation attempt. The night before the settlement signing, she actually showed up at my house. The cameras pinged and there she was on the porch, hugging herself dramatically, doing that soft sobbing thing she does when she wants attention. I stepped outside but didn't open the storm door. She whispered, Can we just talk? Just once? Without lawyers? No. Please, she said. I want to understand how we got here. You planned to rob me. That's not fair, she whispered. What's not fair? I asked. The part where your family coached you on fake abuse claims? Or the part where you wanted half my assets and the house I bought before we even met? She wiped her eyes delicately, the kind of crying done for an audience. I didn't know what to do, she whispered. I was scared you'd leave me. So your solution was to leave first and take everything with you. That's not what was happening. The screenshots say otherwise. Silence. She dropped the act for a split second. And I saw it. The truth. Not remorse. Not fear. Panic at losing the lifestyle she assumed she'd secured. Then came the final line. I still love you. I didn't even blink. No, I said. You love the version of me that didn't know your plan. Her jaw trembled. She tried again. We could fix this. No. We could try again. No. You're not even willing to talk. I talked to your evidence. Her eyes went flat. The moment she realized there is no version of this where I take her back. She walked away without another word. And for the first time since this whole mess started, I felt the weight lift. Her plan was dead. The marriage was dead. But I I was finally alive. Signing day. Not the finale, just the next battlefield. I showed up to my attorney's office in a button-down and jeans. My wife showed up on Zoom, hair perfect, makeup flawless, posture stiff. Her attorney looked like he'd aged a decade in a month. Mine looked like he'd slept great. We went line by line through the settlement. She keeps her stuff. I keep the house. I keep my retirement. No alimony. No attorney fees paid by me. Equal split of the joint account. 30 days to move out. No false claims. No harassment. No contact except through attorneys. Her attorney asked at one point, exhausted. Is there anything your client is willing to negotiate? My attorney didn't miss a beat. No. It ended there. She signed first. Her hand trembled. Then I signed, steady, done. The call ended with the soft chime of disconnection. And that should have been it. But no. Not with her. Because the moment the Zoom window disappeared, she texted me from yet another unrecognized number. Are you happy? You broke me. I deleted it. Then another. You didn't even fight for us. Deleted. Then a third. I forgave you. Why couldn't you forgive me? Forgive her? For planning a fake abuse divorce heist with her family? That's not forgiveness. That's self-destruction. I didn't respond. I blocked the number. But the real twist came 48 hours later. My attorney emailed me. Subject her attorney, new development. I opened it, expecting some last-ditch plea. But it wasn't that. It was one line. Her attorney has withdrawn representation. She violated their legal advice. I blinked. Then came a second email. FYI, she contacted the judge's clerk to explain her side. Judge is furious. She's barred from communicating outside proper channels. She tried to go around both attorneys. Around the court. Straight to the source. She tried to manipulate the system itself. Just like she tried to manipulate me. And now? She just torched what little credibility she had left before the decree was finalized. Then came the true ending of Operation Freedom. Her mom emailed me. The last person I ever wanted to hear from. But the subject line stopped me cold. We didn't know she went this far. I opened it. It was long. Too long. Rambling. But the core was this. They blamed her for everything now. Not themselves. Not their plan. Not their coaching. Not their pressure. Her. Translation. Operation Freedom failed, so now we're rewriting history. They wanted absolution. They weren't getting it. I sent one sentence. This conversation is inappropriate. Please contact your own attorney. Blocked. And just like that, silence. No more calls. No more texts. No more threats. No more fake tears. The house was quiet. Still. Mine. I stood in the hallway that evening, listening to nothing, and felt something I hadn't felt in months. Breathing room. Space. Freedom. The real kind. Not the kind they plotted in a group chat. Not the kind that required tearing someone else down. The kind you earned by walking away from something that was already dead long before you knew to mourn it. Operation Freedom concluded. But not the way they intended. Not freeing her from me. Freeing me from them. The quiet didn't last long. Freedom never comes without an aftershock. And mine arrived exactly 5 days after the settlement signing. Delivered in the form of a phone call from my attorney that began with a sigh. Not a normal sigh. A "you're not gonna believe this" sigh. Your wife, he said, has filed a motion. A motion for what? I asked. Relief. I laughed. She wants relief from the consequences she created? Not exactly. He paused. She's requesting the court to set aside the settlement agreement. I sat up straight. What grounds? He rustled some papers. The motion claims she signed the agreement while emotionally manipulated, distressed, and uninformed. I let that sink in. Emotionally manipulated. Distressed. Uninformed. The irony nearly killed me. Does she have evidence? I asked. Oh, he said. She attached something. I braced myself. A letter? A tearful affidavit? Screenshots of her mom coaching her on how to cry for the judge? No. It was worse. Much worse. She attached a screenshot of MY text telling her, "We're getting divorced. There's nothing to counsel." My attorney laughed so hard he actually wheezed. "This," he said, "is her proof that you manipulated her." "That's it?" I asked. "That's all she submitted." I blinked. So she's claiming emotional manipulation because I declined couples counseling after we filed for divorce? Correct. She thinks that undoes a legally binding settlement? Correct. He chuckled again. She's about to learn something about courts that her family never taught her. The hearing. 2 weeks later, there we were, standing in front of a judge who'd clearly read every page of the case file and wanted her lunch. My wife stood beside her new attorney. Young guy. Probably thought this would be simple. Her old attorney sat 3 rows back looking like he came just to witness the train wreck. The judge flipped through the papers and finally said, "Mrs. Harper, your motion claims you were emotionally manipulated into signing. Can you explain how?" My wife launched into her performance. "Your Honor." I was terrified. He filed so suddenly. I felt pressured. I didn't know my rights. I didn't understand the agreement. I felt he was forcing me. I was overwhelmed. Alone. Unsupported. The judge raised a hand. "Mrs. Harper, were you represented by counsel at the time you signed the agreement?" "Yes." "Did your attorney advise you?" "Yes." "Did you sign voluntarily?" "Yes." He tapped the page. "And here you wrote the word yes next to the sentence. I am signing this agreement voluntarily, and without coercion. Is that your handwriting?" She swallowed. "Yes." The judge turned to her attorney. "Counsel, do you have anything else?" The attorney cleared his throat like a man reconsidering his entire career. "Your Honor, my client is experiencing emotional distress." The judge didn't even blink. "Aren't we all?" The courtroom laughed. "Except her." Then the judge leaned forward. "Mrs. Harper, your motion contains 0 evidence of coercion. But my concern goes deeper." He lifted the stapled screenshots, the Operation Freedom chat. "This," he said, "is compelling evidence of a coordinated plan to manipulate court proceedings, including fabricating abuse claims." Her attorney looked like he wanted to melt into the floor. My wife whispered, "I didn't. I wasn't going to actually do it." "That," the judge said, "is concerning in itself." He dropped the papers. "Motion denied. Settlement stands. And Mrs. Harper, any further frivolous filings will result in sanctions." Her face fell apart in real time. It was the first moment she truly understood. The plan is dead. The marriage is dead. The manipulation is dead. The leverage is gone. When we walked out of the courtroom, she called after me, "Ryan, please. This can't be the end." I turned back. "It ended," I said, "the day you let your family convince you I was the enemy." She took a shaky step forward. "You still love me, right?" I shook my head. "I loved someone who didn't exist." She broke. Actually broke. Crying, shaking, reaching for something that wasn't there anymore. "But here's the truth. You can only rescue someone who wants to be saved." She wanted control. She wanted power. She wanted my house, my retirement, my future. Now she has none of them. And for the first time since this whole nightmare started, I walked away without looking back. In the end, there was no confrontation, no apology, no dramatic reconciliation scene. Just reality settling exactly where it belonged. The divorce finalized quietly on a Thursday morning. A single email from the court: "Your case is now closed." She didn't message me again. Maybe the judge's warning finally sank in. Maybe she realized Operation Freedom had cost her more than it saved. Or maybe she was too busy rewriting the story for people willing to believe it. The house is mine. The accounts are mine. My career, my sanity, my future, still intact. The silence in the evenings feels strange, but clean. Peaceful. Like the first deep breath after months of holding one in. Sometimes I think about how close I came to losing everything because of a plan I was never meant to see. But I did see it. And I acted. And I survived it. Operation Freedom freed both of us. Just not in the way she intended.